Israel. We live once again. I want to give praise and honor to the Almighty, Yahuwah. Thanks for stopping back by the channel. I intended to go live on my other YouTube page, Israelite Global, but there was some complications because I've never been live over there, and I don't have as many followers over there is what I'm thinking. So still trying to figure this thing out, but we're gonna proceed with on here. I'm trying to figure out how to use the laptop as well. So it's a learning experience. Like I said, thank you guys for continuing to stop by. I got a lot in this episode, and I'm changing because I'm going to start going live doing my current events on my other channel. This is episode 1 of the IG Chop. All right, Israelite Global. I ain't trying to steal Instagram's nickname, but it is what it is. Let's get into our material, our topics. The first thing I like to do is go into the scripture of the day, and it's a simple scripture. It's Exodus 20 and Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. All right. Exodus 20, verse 3. You shall have no other gods besides me. All right. Our Almighty Father wants us to worship Him alone. So just wanted to put that out there as a daily reminder. All right. Our next order of business is our quote of the day. All right. Our quote of the day comes from Asada Shakur. And the quote is, I'm not quite sure what freedom is, but I know damn well what it ain't. How have we gotten so silly, I wonder. So we know, that even though they call this country, land of the free, we know it ain't free here. So everything comes with a price. The price of life is higher than the price of death here. So it's crazy. Let's see. Next thing, this day in history, something that I'm adding to my topic list. So April 28th. All right, what happened? What significantly happened in April 28th? Or the one thing that I found that was interesting, and some of you guys will remember this. Muhammad Ali refuses Army induction. All right. Muhammad Ali refuses to be drafted into the Army during the Vietnam War, citing race issues in the U.S. and his religious beliefs. The protest will lead to his arrest and suspension of his boxing license for several years, putting Ali in the spotlight as a controversial figure and civil rights icon instead of in the boxing ring. All right, now, for y'all that don't know that story, Muhammad Ali, when U.S. went to war with Vietnam, Muhammad Ali opposed the war because he said the Viet Cong had done nothing to him. He said this country was more evil to him than those Vietnamese were. And if you guys go look into the history of that war, like the first 2 years of that war, the Vietnamese tried not to kill any black Americans. They would let black Americans go, and they would kill everybody else though. But then once blacks kept shooting their guns, of course they put the American tag on everybody, and they just tried to survive. But they knew our what we was going through as well. They knew our plight too. But some of us, we like to, you know, embrace embrace the evil and absorb, and we like to assimilate into the American culture. And we're finding out how well that's working out for us, right? All right. So now let's go to, because I got a lot of topics to touch on today. So we're gonna go to our top story. All right. And our top story of the day is, let's see here, and I'll just read a little bit of this, and then I'll tell you guys my thoughts on it. It says Black college president says it's time to fix Black Jewish relations. All right, this story was from the Washington Post, and we know sometimes the Washington Post, they put out some lies and some deception and stuff. But I want to go through here and talk about this real quick. The story is by Emmanuel Felton. Excuse me, it's 3 days old. All right. From New Orleans, it says, after two Black celebrities were accused of anti-Semitism in late 2022, the new president of Dillard University, a historically Black college, worried the relationship between Black and Jewish Americans was being tested. Dillard had once run a national letter that promoted research on the historical alliance between these two communities. Rochelle Ford had learned that center was needed again. She decided launching a fundraising campaign for its $200,000 a year budget among religious groups and academic leaders. Ford's work had just begun when it became entangled by the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, the Israeli response, and the subsequent fallout between many in the Jewish community and Black-led organizations such as the African Methodist Episcopal Church and the Movement for Black Lives, which have been critical of the Israeli government. I noticed so they got a new group called Movement for Black Lives. We don't hear Black Lives Matter a lot anymore. All right. It says the relaunch of the once lauded center and her subsequent speech at a rally for Israel ushered Ford, 52, into a tense national debate on U.S. support for Israel that has rocked college campuses across the country, upset some Dillard students and alumni, and raised larger questions about the alliance between the Black community and Jewish Americans. At Dillard, meanwhile, some students and alumni complained that the administration appeared to be putting the desires of potential donors ahead of their concerns for the Palestinian people. All right, and I'm gonna just stop right there. You guys can go to the Washington Post and read the rest of this. You can find it on MSN.com. But so this president is trying to, I guess, balance the relationship between blacks or between Hebrews and Israelis. I'll say it like that. All right. They claim one thing, but they have an identity crisis over there. We was in an identity crisis, and we're taking our identity back, so it's going to leave them in an identity crisis. But so when you go back up, it said her work had just begun when it became entangled by the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. All right, and the Israeli response and the subsequent fallout between many in the Jewish community. All right, so we got churches, you probably got different rabbis and different Jewish organizations, all these black churches, all these black organizations, and they're all clashing right now. All right, so I made this the top story because I wanted to just show how the Most High is laying the groundwork for his people to be discovered in the earth. How many people at this college are going to find out that they're Hebrew? How many people at this all black school is going to find out that their ancestors are the people of the book? their ancestors went through what happened in the Old Testament. All right. We've all been brainwashed. All right. We know that this American society was created as a utopia for people that aren't like us. You know what I'm saying? Non-melanated people, this was their utopia. All right. And the melanated people was the workers. All right. So the thing that's actually going to happen at the end of this thing, when the Most High resets everything, all right, they actually implemented that as a way for them to rule the world. You know what I'm saying? So just when you come across stories like this, when you are looking and doing your research and stuff, and you come across stuff like this, just think to yourself, how does this help us, in our knowledge of the truth? How does this help us to move forward in the ways that we believe, the ways that we think? All right. And how is the Most High operating in all this? You know what I'm saying? So just when you're doing your research and you're reading and stuff, pay attention to these types of things and how the Most High is involved in these things. All right. All right. So that was our top story. All right. Now let's get to some national news. Let's do this. All right. National news. Which one am I looking for here? All right, so we're gonna go into the Chicago Tribune. All right, it says residents began going through the rubble after tornadoes hammer parts of Nebraska and Iowa. All right, Omaha, Nebraska. This article is by Nick Ingram, Jeff Martin, and Heather Hollingsworth. All right, it says residents began sifting through the rubble Saturday after a tornado plowed through. After a tornado plowed through suburban Omaha, Nebraska. All right. So we have, and I'm gonna just go ahead and bring it up right now. See if I can get to it real quick. Because here in Oklahoma, we went through sirens last night, and my hometown went through some. I don't know if it was tornado damage yet. It hasn't been confirmed if there was an actual tornado touchdown, or if it was just high gusty winds. But my hometown went through some damage last night. Now I know this is the season for tornadoes, and both Oklahoma and Nebraska are in Tornado Alley, but it seems like they're becoming more and more prevalent, and they're becoming worse and worse each year. If you go look at the damage tolls, of course the way to find out if something was really bad or not is the money that is spent to repair all the damage. So that's when we'll know how deadly these things are. I know in Nebraska they had a few people die. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard about any deaths in Oklahoma, but we know they were coming through last night with fierce ferocity. I mean, the sirens went off twice on us last night, and so of course we went down to the basement or whatnot, and just you got to take the right precautions. You know what I'm saying? You just never can tell. So let me check and see what the chat is talking about. I see the chat moving. What's going on? Bless David Hebrew. All right. Let's see here. He says you have a question. Do you believe all black folks in America are Hebrew? I believe some are sons and daughters of Zion and are Gentiles. What's thoughts on this perception? No, I agree with you. Some of us are Hebrew and some of us are not. All right, there are melanated people all over the world, and there was some mixing that went on. So I don't believe that everybody's a Hebrew here. So just to answer your question, and I see Ak is in the building. What's up, strangers? Appreciate you stopping by, man, and wrenching for me. I call that moderating wrenching. I'm glad I could be of some assistance to you, brother David. All right. Let's see here. There's also, dangerous weather that's been going all over the country. The seismic activity up in New York. You know what I'm saying? That New York and New Jersey, they had another earthquake yesterday. Now, it wasn't that big, but I've never, until recently, heard of earthquakes in New York and New Jersey. And when I was a kid here in Oklahoma, we didn't have earthquakes. I had never felt an earthquake until like 2016 or something like that. And I think that was our biggest earthquake in the state was in 2016. We had a 5.8. And then I think a few months ago, we had a 5.1 on the western side of the state. We felt it over here on the eastern side of the state. So, hey, the Most High is ramping this thing up. It ain't gonna be all war. We know that the beast of the field is gonna be doing some of the destruction. The natural weather is gonna be doing some of the destruction, and then of course people being foolish, people is like taking themselves out. Yep. And okay, you said they're expecting a very intense hurricane season this year. Man, I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's cloud seeding. I don't know if it's what they're spraying and all that stuff. I don't, I can't really tell, but I do know that everything is ramping up. And I've talked to some brothers in the past about how some of the stuff that they're doing, like the spraying the clouds and all that stuff, they're trying to combat the different issues that the Most High may be doing to the earth right now. All right, so blocking the sun and stuff like that, because if you ain't got no melanin, man, you can get cooked out there. So hey, it's crazy. But all right, so let's go into some more of our information. Let's see here. All right, we already mentioned the earthquake in New Jersey. That was crazy. All right, let's go into the flash flooding. All right. This is news published April 28th, 2024. At least 2 dead. Catastrophic damage reported after tornadoes tear across Oklahoma. Holdenville, Oklahoma, there's at least 2 people that were killed from tornado damage in Holdenville. All right. The Holdenville Police Department confirmed the deaths to Fox Weather. And Fox 25 in Oklahoma City is reporting that an infant is among the 2 dead. Man, it's catastrophic events. I mentioned that, in my last video. What do I believe? I believe that catastrophic events have to continue to happen for the Most High to reshape and reset this thing. All right. Let's see here. Here's a more in-depth article, I believe, on the Nebraska tornado. It says residents began sifting through the rubble Saturday after a tornado plowed through suburban Omaha, Nebraska, demolishing homes and businesses as it moved for miles through farmland and into subdivisions, then slamming an Iowa town. Dozens of reported tornadoes wreaked havoc Friday in the Midwest, causing a building to collapse with dozens of people inside and destroying and damaging at least 150 homes in Omaha alone. All right. No fatalities were reported in Omaha. All right. Hey, this stuff is going down. All right. If you live in an area that's impacted by, seasonal weather, whether it be tornadoes, flash flooding, blizzards, ice storms, hail, make sure that you're paying attention. All right. The Most High would not have us to be out here being foolish and not, paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Especially as chosen. All right, let's go into some world news. That was national news. All right, let's go into some world news. All right. Let's see here. Where's that at? All right. Indonesia. All right, this is coming from livemint.com. All right. So on April 27th, 2024, a magnitude 6.5 earthquake struck Indonesia's Java Island. All right. It said the quake, which the United States Geological Survey recorded at a magnitude of 6.1, was felt in the capital of Jakarta, where people were forced to evacuate buildings, and in nearby Bandung. All right. And if you guys haven't heard about Jakarta over in Indonesia, they're fixing to build a whole entire new city because Jakarta is sinking. All right. They say 40% of Jakarta is below sea level now. And they plan on having this new city. I can't remember what they're naming it, but this new city is going to cost $35 billion to build. All right. And they plan on being done by 2045. So they got basically 21 years to get this city done so they can move all the inhabitants of Jakarta. And Jakarta has 10.6 million people in it. This is crazy. All right, so they got to move 10.6 million people 870 miles away to a new city that won't be ready for 21 years. And 40% of the city has already gone below sea level, and that's lost coastline because they say the sea is rising. So it's crazy. I can't imagine in 21 years. I mean, Jakarta might be all the way underwater before then. That's crazy. All right. And with earthquakes happening over in Indonesia more often, that ain't helping Jakarta either. So we might end up with a whole bunch of casualties, before they get the new city done. And who's to say that they'll even be allowed to get it done? We see all this stuff that's going on in this earth right now. All right. A story I found on First Watch, on First Post. It says this is in Africa. All right. It says Burkina Faso's military killed 223 civilians in February, finds Human Rights Watch. Now listen to this story, y'all. All right, the Burkina Faso military summarily, meaning altogether, executed. They say executed 223 civilians in 2 villages in February, according to the Human Rights Watch. The Human Rights Watch said that those killed included at least 56 children. The killings appear to be a part of the military campaign in Burkina Faso against civilians accused to be collaborating with the jihadists active in the country. Children, 56 kids were were active with jihadists? I don't know. Says Burkina Faso is part of the Sahel region of West Africa that's reeling under under a jihadist insurgency for over a decade, in which regional affiliates of terrorist groups Al Qaeda and ISIS are involved, along with regional gangs and bandits. The conflict that also spans the countries of Mali, Niger, and Chad in the region has displaced more than 4 million people. I didn't even know this stuff was going on. We got people over here getting murdered. People, it's crazy. All right. And when you speak of jihad, you're speaking of Islam. All right. Forms of Islam. It said the Burkina Faso's military's killings appear to be in retaliation to attacks carried out at the time by jihadist elements active in the country, according to HRW. All right. And I'm going to read this last paragraph and then we'll move on. It says, on February 24th and 25th, jihadist groups mounted attacks across Burkina Faso. The targets included both military sites such as barracks and bases and on civilian sites such as places of worship. The military killings appear to be in retaliation to these attacks, according to the report. Man, so Burkina Faso got something going on like Israel in Gaza, except for Burkina Faso ain't dropping bombs. You know what I'm saying? HRW talking about those are crimes against humanity, and you'd have to go get a more in-depth story to figure out, who's right in the situation, because the Father tells us to be just, in our dealings with people. So, I mean, if it's a justified retaliation, it'd be hard for me to smoke a little 9-year-old that might have been forced to carry a gun or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you look into the history of Rwanda and Sudan and a lot of those African countries, that's what some of those kids was forced to do. You shoot or be shot. You know what I'm saying? You either become part of the military or we'll kill you. So it's craziness going on in this earth. All right. Let's see here. Oh, here's a world story. Y'all check this out. It says, and this is also from First Post, from the FP staff, April 28, 2024. At least 5 people died and 33 others were left injured after a massive tornado ripped through Chinese city Jiangsu. According to Chinese news agency Xinhua, the tornado struck the Jiangdong province capital at around 3 p.m. on Friday. I didn't even know China had tornadoes. So we learning as we go. We just says Jiangdong is touted as one of the most populous provinces in China, which is home to 19 million people. All these cities with all these people in them. And I think there are like 10 or 12 million people in New York. And I've already mentioned 2 cities, one in India and one in China, that have more people in it than New York. So, all these places are being impacted by natural disasters or war. And we're about to get to our war news here in a second. I didn't even, but I know on the other side of the earth, they call tornadoes, they call them cyclones, or they call them, it may be cyclones. Cyclone also might be the other word across the world for a hurricane too. So I may be wrong there. But I didn't know China had tornadoes, but hey, I knew they had torrential rain going over there and downpours. I knew they had a lot of different earthquakes and that type of thing, but I did not know China had tornadoes. So that was very interesting when I came across that headline. All right. Now let's go to our war news. All right. We'll start in Russia. We'll start with Russia and Ukraine. And this is also a article from First Post. It says Russian missiles bombarded power plants in central and western Ukraine. Zelensky reiterated his request for more defense missiles. So here's Zelensky, who just got last week had Congress approve billions of dollars for them to get funded, and now they're gonna ask for more. All right, says on Saturday, Russian missiles bombarded power plants in central and western Ukraine, adding to the strain on the failing energy infrastructure at a time when the nation lacks air defenses, despite a significant improvement in U.S. military assistance. They openly saying that the U.S. is helping Ukraine, but we not at war. Make it make sense, y'all. I mean, if you ask me, we at war, and they don't want us to know we at war. Because they want y'all to keep spending your dollars. They want you to keep going to McDonald's and Applebee's and Brahms and getting your ice cream, and they don't want you worried about nothing. They want you to keep going to Home Depot. They want you to keep on working your jobs and don't worry about nothing. All right? When you should be preparing for what's coming. It's prophesied that this thing cannot stay the way it is. All right? And experts keep telling us that the economy is going to fail, that it can't hold like this. All right. It says the airstrike was the fourth significant aerial attack on the power grid since March 22nd. It was conducted using long-range missiles, including cruise missiles fired by Russian strategic bombers stationed in the Arctic Circle. Man, everybody talking about Russia ain't equipped to fight a world war. Man, these people is crazy. All right. Russia got long-range missiles just like America do. And you know China got the same thing. I bet you India got some stuff. All right. The only people not capable of fighting a war is Africa. All the countries in Africa decided to listen to all the countries in Europe and not build militaries that with significant power and stuff. And so, and then of course, we're sitting ducks over here. Those of us who know the truth, we at the mercy of the Most High. So that's where I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna just stay at the mercy of the Most High. All right, let's see. What's our next war story? Let's see here. Another story from this one comes from Reuters, however you say that, but it's on First Post site. It says some senior U.S. officials have advised Secretary of State Antony Blinken that they do not find credible or reliable Israel's assurances that it is using U.S. supplied weapons in accordance with international humanitarian law. Other officials upheld support for Israel's representation. Under a national security memorandum issued by President Joe Biden in February, Blinken must report to Congress by May 8th whether he finds credible Israel's assurances that its use of U.S. weapons does not violate U.S. or international law. Why is Israel using U.S. weapons if we ain't at war with them? What the hell? Man, if you can't see this, you ain't looking or you blind. All right? So, and if you blind, maybe the Father made you blind. But it don't make no sense. All right, our next war story. Let's see here. If I can find it. All right, here we go. I'm going to read that one last. All right. It says, Israelis war on Gaza live, biggest catastrophe facing Palestinians. Palestinian President Abbas appeals to the U.S. to help stop Israel's planned invasion of Rafah as Israeli attacks killed 66 people in last 24 hours. This is after they've already killed over 100,000 people in 6 months, just wiping them out. It says diplomatic efforts intensify to reach a ceasefire in Gaza as Hamas delegation heads to Egypt after news reports suggest Israel may be considering a sustainable truce. All right. So They just over there doing what they want to do. All right, and then the last war story that I'm gonna bring up, it comes from Sky News. It says Hamas has released a new video that appears to show two hostages who have been held in Gaza since the October 7th assault on southern Israel. The two men, Keith Siegel, 64, and Omri Miran, 47, speak in the video against an empty background, sending their love to relatives and asking to be released. The video was released during the Passover holiday when Jews celebrate the biblical story of gaining freedom from slavery in Egypt. I'm gonna just laugh. I'm gonna just smile on that one. I'm gonna smile. All right. Says in the footage, Mr. Siegel breaks down in tears as he recalls spending last year's Passover with his family, saying he hoped they would be reunited. All right, and this video comes out as they try to get Israel to stop bombing that Gaza Strip. But we all know what that's about. They want that land. So I don't know if they're gonna reach a ceasefire. And I think this is used too to antagonize the other Islamic countries because they know they're not gonna do nothing. All right. This little bitty old country sitting over there of these people who I call the identity thieves, sitting over there just bullying everybody. And the US is backing them because the US is the bigger bully. It don't make no sense. All right, that's the last war story we'll talk about. Next, we're going to get into, let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. There's another world news story I want to share with y'all. I missed that one. I got to go back to that one. Let's see here. All right, world news story. This is in India, I believe. Yes, India, because the site I'm on is India Today. It says 7 Telangana students died by deleting themselves after intermediate exam results. So 7 students, including 2 girls, allegedly died by deleting themselves hours after the Telangana State Board released the results of the intermediate public examination for 2024. All right, for the first equivalent, which is the equivalent of your junior class, the 11th grade, and the second year, which is the 12th grade. All right, police said the deaths were reported in the last 48 hours after the results were released on Wednesday. All right, I'm gonna try to say this name. Mahabubabad, superintendent of police, said the 2 girls who allegedly took their lives failed in the examination. So in essence, what they're saying is some of these kids that don't pass their school in India kill themselves. It don't give a reason why. All right. It doesn't say why they taking their own lives. But I can imagine maybe the strictness of the parents over there to pass these grades or to have success. It could be against the family's reputation if you don't pass. And so that's why I imagine they might be deleting themselves. And that's tough, you know. That's one of the things I always wanted to make sure none of my children got that low to where they thought they had to do that. There's too much to live for. And there's too much against you that can kill you for you to even want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I came across that story and I was just like, wow. I mean, that's in India. So, and I mean, India, I think a lot of Indian people practice Hinduism. I don't know a lot about that religion, but I don't think you're supposed to be deleting yourself over there. So, I mean, that would be I just wonder about that. But, all right, we're getting close to the end here. Let's see here. All right, let me go see if I can find this story right here. Oh, there's another story I didn't want to miss. All right, because I reported on this a few weeks ago. All right, y'all remember me reporting on Haiti? All right, so it says new Haiti government sworn in during secret ceremony. So you can imagine who got their hands all over this in a secret ceremony. All right, that's America. That's the United States. All right, but it ain't gonna say it. Let me read. Let me read a little bit of the article for y'all. This came Thursday, April 25th. Says, and this is I'm in the Guardian. All right, so you guys can go research it for yourself. It says Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has formally resigned, and a new provisional government has been sworn in during a secret ceremony at the presidential palace, nearly 2 months after a criminal insurrection plunged the city into chaos. They didn't like who was ruling, all right, and they made it hard for everybody who was ruled up to this point. They kept Haiti in chaos. They put the people against each other and kept them against each other in chaos so they could eventually get to this day to where they could secretly put in the melanated people that they want in there. That's how they do it. All right, but that ain't in the story, but you gotta do research to know what's happening. It says the 9-person transitional council was officially established on Thursday during an event at the National Palace in Port-au-Prince. As its members took their oaths, Henry, who is in the U.S., having been locked out of Haiti by the gang uprising, basically they're saying they wanted his head and he left. All right, because that ain't usually how it happens. Usually they kill the leader and take the throne. All right, but he got up out of there. All right, and he decided to come over here to the States, and I imagine he's in a city with a lot of black people so he can blend in. That's what I imagine he's doing. All right. It says, who is in the U.S. having been locked out of Haiti by the gang uprising, announced in a letter that he was stepping down. He announced that because he wanted to leave. All right. That we know what they wanted to happen. It says, we have served the nation during difficult times, wrote Henry, a neurosurgeon turned politician who came to power after the assassination of President Jovenel Moise in 2021. I'm telling you, they was trying to assassinate him. He got put in place because of the assassination before him. Said Henry had announced last month that he was quitting. All right, but they wasn't gonna let him quit. That's why he had to leave. All right, so you guys can go to the Guardian and get the rest of that story if you want. But I reported on Haiti about a month ago and wanted to give y'all an update on what's going on over there. So Haiti, they're gonna mess around. If the reset don't happen, Haiti gonna mess around and become a tourist attraction. All right, they gonna get that stuff cleaned up down there, and they gonna make it be assimilated into all the other islands down there. Jamaica, tourist attraction. Puerto Rico, tourist attraction. So hey, they trying to Dominican tourist attraction. So they're gonna try to do the same thing with Haiti. All right. Let's see here. What other stories we got? There we go. All right, so here's my health story of the day. All right, it says eating avocado may lower diabetes risk, especially for females. And this is a story from Victoria Stokes on April 26, 2024. It's on Healthline. If you guys want to go check it out, it's healthline.com. But I'll read a few things. It says, a large cross-sectional study has found that avocados may reduce diabetes risk in females, though no significant association was shown in males. Females who ate 30 to 38 grams of avocado had significantly lower odds of diabetes than those who did not consume avocados. Experts say the combo of fiber and unsaturated fat found in avocados plays a role in diabetes risk reduction. And then lastly, it says you can include more avocado in your diet by using it as a spread or dressing and adding it to a smoothie. All right. Like I said, you guys want the full article, go to healthline.com. And the article is from April 26th by Victoria Stokes. All right. And then our final, one of our final topics of the day. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right. This is from sciencenews.org. It says language models may miss signs of depression in black people's Facebook posts. I thought it was interesting. I wanted to stop by it and I wanted to read it a little bit. So this is by Sujata Gupta on April 22nd, which was earlier this week in 2024. It says people with depression tend to write and speak about how bad they feel. Years of research has shown. But linguistic features linked to depression seem to be absent in black people's social media posts. Basically, they're saying they don't understand what we're saying half the time, and they can't tell if we sad or we mad or we happy or whatever, because our dialect is different than theirs. All right, our culture, the cultural, the things that make us different. All right, they still can't register those things. They still can't understand all those things. They take from our culture because theirs is bland, and as they continue to think they know us and learn us, we're finding out that they don't, just through our language. We speak English like them, but how don't they understand? All right, it says people with depression tend to write in. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. We now have over a decade of research that has shown how language can be a powerful indicator of mental health and signs of depression. But one thing we hadn't understood until this study was how demographic factors impact the measurement. Says Dr. Moon Dechuri, a computer scientist at Georgia Tech. So we got computer scientists that are linguists now, I guess, in Georgia Tech in Atlanta, who is an expert. He's calling himself an expert in using social media data to study mental health. Researchers and public health officials have been testing machine learning programs that are designed to predict links between certain language markers and health outcomes. These programs could act as an early warning system by scouring social media posts to identify spikes in depression across a given population. All right, so me personally, on this topic right here, I like that our English dialect changes from year to year, from every 2 or 3 years, we change the dialect, we add to it, all right, we upgrade it, and they don't understand it. And so now they're fixing to sick AI on us. It says, however, the new findings suggest such AI programs could miss depression in a big slice of the population. If that's the case, Dechuri says there are profound public health implications. All right, so instead of people, diagnosing people now and people having conversations with people, they want AI to do it. All right, AI is supposed to tell you if you're depressed. Look, if you falling for all this trickery and all this stuff, man, you a lost one. All right, and you probably ain't gonna understand my channels anyway. So, all right. The last thing I'm gonna talk about, we're gonna talk a little bit about sports. And I was going, if I would have did this on Israelite Global, I was gonna go all in on it, but I'm not gonna do that over here. I wanted to bring up the NBA playoffs. I enjoy basketball, so the NBA playoffs are going right now, and I haven't really found a lot of underlining stories, but this story is the one I'm gonna expound on. Me and one of my ops, we go back and forth on social media about LeBron James, and that joker, I think he is the biggest plant ever in sports. That guy, because he has so much influence on the youth, he every other game or every third game, he has this just tantrum on the court he's made the most money of anybody. Why is you still doing that if you're not a plant? You know what I'm saying? We call him the fraud, we call him the crazy, we call him the baby, we call him the crybaby, all kind of stuff, but we call him everything but his name. So, but I thought that was interesting. I was watching the game yesterday, and he had just this tantrum. He was irate, stomped the floor like a kid would, that when his mama told him, no, you're not getting no more candy. It was crazy, and of course social media lit him up. You know what I'm saying? But and then the NFL draft happened this week. If you guys are football fans, the number one draft pick was Caleb Williams from USC, but first he played at the University of Oklahoma. All right, y'all get that? Y'all remember that? All right, can't do without OU, baby. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about sports-wise was they had the WNBA draft last week, and so the Chicago Sky, they sold more jerseys in the last week than the Dallas Cowboys sold all last year between two players. All right. I think her name is Camila Cardoso. She's a 6'7" Brazilian. She's 6'7". She's from Brazil. All right. And she's a great basketball player. And then Angel Reese, of course, she's probably one of the biggest names in women's basketball, and she ain't even played pro yet. All right. But between those two, they both got drafted by the Chicago Sky. They sold more jerseys in 1 week last week than the Dallas Cowboys sold all year last year. So, and Dallas Cowboys, they're supposed to be America's team. So I found that to be very interesting. We'll have to see how many people actually tune in and watch the WNBA. I'm still not totally sold because they don't do a lot of things that the men do. I like to see dunks. I like to see aggression. I like to see half-court threes. I like to see the speed of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're going to see. I'm gonna give them a try. I haven't watched WNBA probably in 20 years. So I'm going to give them a try this summer, and we'll just see. But let me get back in the comment section and see what I missed. I told my wife I was going to interact in the comment section more, and I haven't because I forgot. So, Strangers Among Israel said he did not know about the tornadoes. I'm assuming you didn't know that China had tornadoes too. And then you also made a comment that said it must come down. That's why these wealthy folks getting ready. They know what time it is. They going in these bunkers. All right, they building these bunkers and they think they can just go in these bunkers. Earthquakes is gonna mess the bunkers up. All right, lava from these volcanoes underground is gonna mess the bunkers up. These hot geysers is gonna mess the bunker. I don't know what they thinking. If they was really smart and if they knew everything, why ain't they just made space stations for the rich people and they just go into space and avoid it all? Why they say we can go into space, right? SpaceX, Elon Musk, why don't you just take them to space? Take all the billionaires up there. You know what I'm saying? No, because the bunkers ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But let me see what other comments was in here. I said he's skedaddled out of Haiti. Let's see here. Yeah, I saw that this morning. Let's see here. Israelite Talk TV. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate the love. Let's see here. And like I said earlier, blessed by David Hebrew. I appreciate you stopping by. That looks like that's going to conclude all of the everybody in the comment section. So as a closing thought, I got a question. What do you guys? What would you guys like to hear me, talk about in the future? All right. You ain't got to put it in the chat right now. Throw it in the comment section if you have some thoughts. I'm trying to get this thing together. Like I said, I tried to go live on Israelite Global this morning, and it didn't work out. I'm learning this laptop. I'm gonna get this done. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to get it done is just to do it. So I eventually on Israelite Global, I plan on going live at least 3 times a week, because current events and breaking news happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I want you guys to stay alert. I want you guys to stay up to date on what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of us, work these plantation jobs and stuff where we don't get a lot of time to look at what's going on. So yeah, I like to just get your thoughts on those things. And lastly, before I go, let me go ahead and run me some plugs. I do this artwork, all right, getting pretty decent at it. If you guys are interested, you can email me, and my son helps me do this. So you can email us at robdevartwoods@gmail.com. That's ROBDEV artwoods@gmail.com. And then, of course, this episode of the IG Chop is sponsored by the 7 Anomaly. All right. You can find it at Amazon. You can find it at Apple Books. You can find it at Barnes & Noble online, anywhere that you get your books. All right. If you want to support me in that manner, you can do so. Also, if you want to hit me on the Cash App and just throw me a donation, I'm not opposed to that. My Cash App is Dub City 74, $ Dub City 74. So, but I'll be back next week. Hopefully, I'll get it figured out. And my wife told me we're gonna get this figured out. So if she said it, it's gonna happen, right? My stomach over here growling and stuff. We're gonna get it figured out on how to drop on Israelite Global next week. I'm gonna get all the topics and everything. I'll have it better in order, and hopefully you guys will join me there. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, throwing that in the chat for me. But so this is your boy Rob signing off here on. I was gonna say Israelite Global. I'm signing off here on K.O.I, Oklahoma. Next week, hopefully we can be on Israelite Global. All right, but until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Shalom.